Welcome back to episode 21 of Midnight Movie Reviews. This is going to be our second episode back as a group together, and it's our first episode watching the movie together, and then in succession doing the podcast. So, this week we watched 2001: A Space Odyssey by Stanley Kubrick. I think that we very much enjoyed this movie. I did. It was very trippy. I thought it would just be like a Star Wars style, space movie, but it just ended up blowing my mind for a movie of its caliber and of its time. So, Adam, why don't you take it away? I'll read the summary, and we'll start off.
Well, you said this would be a Star Wars style movie, but this did come out first, so a Star Wars would be a this style movie.
Well, you know what I mean. Like going into it, it's gonna be like like space adventure, but it ended up not being one.
Definitely.
Well, it ended up being one, but it didn't end up being a, force-wielding Jedis trying to fight their way through the galaxy.
It was more of a evolutionary space adventure. Yes, with many thought-provoking visuals and symbolisms.
It was a Space Odyssey, as the name suggests.
Yes.
Sorry, audio listeners. I just saw that peak.
There's no video listeners, by the way, but yeah.
Hey, and get ready for the next, the soon-to-be-coming Hot Ones ripoff of the podcast.
Yes.
Where we have hot questions and even hotter wings.
And even hotter Luke.
Yeah. Alright, so I'm gonna read the summary that I again stole off IMDb because I'm so unoriginal. And we will get into the questions. Alright. 2001 is a story of evolution. Sometime in the distant past, someone or something nudged evolution by placing a monolith on Earth. Evolution then enabled humankind to reach the moon's surface, where yet another monolith is found. One that signals the monolith places... What am I reading? Oh, yes, sorry, audio listeners. I'm crazy high from Nick's drugs and cat. One that signals the monolith placers that humankind has evolved that far. So the monolithers know now. Now a race begins between Hal and Dave to reach the monolith placers. The winner will achieve the next step in evolution, whatever that may be. Thanks, Larry, something weird last name, who wrote that. All right. All right. Why don't you kick us off, Adam, and talk into the mic, please?
So now we're going to be sharing our general opinions on the movie. I will go first. I love this movie. It's one of my all-time favorites. I think having the story where it starts with the dawn of man and the monkeys. Yeah. it was epic monkey moment.
Yeah. All I could say that entire time was just monkey.
Yes. But it was just it was slow paced. It was a very entertaining and visually appealing movie, and it really pays off by the end.
We were saying while we were watching it just recently, literally less than an hour ago. What are you doing? Get the back scratch right here. So, Adam was saying how this movie is... Sorry, the audio listeners, you can't see what's going on right now. But Adam was telling me how many of these scenes look like as if they were just shot today, just as to how visually advanced they were. I don't know who the director of photography is in this movie. I will look it up quickly, but whoever did it definitely... in a way, future-proofed the movie.
Yeah.
Without knowing it, obviously, but I think that it was the most visually appealing movie, maybe apart from Blade Runner, that I've seen. But I feel like Blade Runner is has a different visual appeal, because that's more on Earth futurism, right?
And it's dystopian a little bit.
Keep in mind, Blade Runner was 15
years later.
Something years later. Yeah, so this was 1968, before we even landed on the moon. So really accurate depiction of the futuristic technology.
I mean, but we have been around the moon by that point.
Right.
They've done flybys with astronauts. But yeah, this is before we landed on the moon. That's just crazy to think about.
For sure.
He's already making a Christopher Nolan type movie. Did you know Christopher Nolan actually went back in time to make this movie?
Whoa. He's such a backward, forward thinker.
Right. Yeah. My favorite part was when Christopher Nolan played the part of Space Baby. Yeah.
I thought he was that
really-
one monkey.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There were two cinematographers, John Alcott and Jeffrey Unsworth. Don't know who those guys are at all.
Yeah.
No
sadly.
idea.
I feel like I've heard John Alcott's name before. Maybe from this. I don't know. It just seems like a familiar name to me.
Yeah. All right. Why don't you?
Well, no one else shared their general opinions.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
even know you said general opinions.
I'm so offended.
Oh, okay. So my general opinion on this movie is that I very much enjoyed it. This was the first time seeing it in quite a while, and I literally did not remember what happened because I had watched it so long ago. But I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I thought it was one of the best I have seen in a long while. And even though it lacked like a lot of dialogue, that doesn't necessarily make a movie bad. It's just creative decision. So
Yeah, and I mean the creativity in this movie really like speaks for itself, and I mean you don't really need that dialogue. I mean it can be helpful in a lot of movies, but this one it's just
because it's purposely made to not need it.
yeah it's a one of a kind movie. I haven't seen anything like this, and this was also one of the oldest movies I've seen in a while.
What is the oldest movie you've seen?
Paths of Glory.
I'm not sure. Oh yeah, that's probably it. When was
When
that?
was
Is that
that?
another Kubrick movie?
54.
Yeah, that has to be the oldest I've
56.
seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, we win Casablanca, baby. Let's
Yeah.
go. That was a
Oh,
fist
we
bump
should
audio.
do that one. Should
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah, but of course, very visually appealing. I was shocked by that since this is a very old movie. But
I mean, it definitely was like a lot of. We'll get into it later, but I'm guessing it's a bunch of scale models and matte plating and all that whatever to make the green screens and stuff, or blue screen by then, look real.
I mean, nevertheless, it was still very well done. So
Yeah.
Good English.
But Luke, you were saying you've never seen a movie like this before. This specifically, not necessarily the rest of Kubrick's work, but this movie really reminded me of a director who's around now named Paul Thomas Anderson. There's not really a lot of dialogue in his movies, but like they're carried by like
What's his most famous movie?
There Will Be Blood.
Okay, yeah.
Punch Drunk Love. I just watched Phantom Thread today.
Oh yeah, you were telling me.
Yeah,
earlier
that
today.
was a really good movie. We should watch that soon. But like, just like really, really amazing cinematography and like not a lot of dialogue. It's just really carried by the visuals and in the case of his work, like really amazing characters.
And like something that like was familiar about this Kubrick movie then, because Paths of Glory, that was one of his earlier works.
Right.
That could have been like his first or second.
No, he made like a lot of like shorter, like 10 to 30 minute films before, and then I think that was like
First feature.
first or
Feature-length
second.
film.
Yeah.
But this movie is a lot more in Kubrick's style by that point. In that 30 year span from
Right.
like post 1960s all the way up to like the early 90s.
Yeah.
And I think that his style is very familiar and it's very welcoming because you know what you're getting into, because like a lot of the way he shot certain scenes reminded me of movies like The Shining, you know.
Right.
I don't know, it just felt very familiar.
Right. Yeah.
Which is why it would have made it more enjoyable for me. But it's not, even if I hadn't seen any other Kubrick movie, I still felt like it would have been very enjoyable to watch.
Yeah. Like even Eyes Wide Shut, which was his last movie, which was early 90s, I think 92 or 94. Like that, like his
What
style
about
just...
Clockwork Orange?
Oh, that was 70 something.
That was 99.
70 or
What was his
80.
1999 movie? He had a 1999 movie.
That was I know Eyes Wide Shut was his last movie. It was sometime in the 90s. I don't know when. But the point I was trying to make was that like his style hasn't. Okay, so it was 1999, but his style hasn't really like changed that much. He's really consistent. Like, and he just has really just stunning work.
I mean, do you have anyone else you could compare him to? You two?
I mean, from the limited movies I've seen of Kubrick, I mean, I don't know.
Or it's just like, but like, can you recognize his directing style by now?
I can tell like how
he does
he
uniquely.
likes to like portray his movies, how he lays out the plot, different shots, like what you guys were saying. And I feel like he's had a lot of good time to really like hone in his like
Yeah.
point of view or like his directive like choices.
Do you think that Stanley Kubrick verbally abused and and scared the living hell out of Hal 9000?
Of course.
He's like, Hal, if you don't fucking do this shot the right way, I swear to God, I'm gonna shut you off. He's like, sorry, Stanley. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Yeah. But Luke, did you give your general opinion?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Nick, did you?
Yes.
Alright. So now, characters and acting. If you don't mind, I'll go first again.
Sure.
I do mind.
You do? Would you like to go first?
No, you can go first.
But characters, again, this is like, I know I've talked about this a lot in the past, but this is one of those sci-fi movies that like really isn't heavily reliant on characters. It's more just like hey, this is a like strong, really well thought out depiction of the future, and here's like a really cool like evolutionary concept, and like, you know, whatever beings, which it isn't really told to us, it's open to interpretation, whether I guess it was like aliens or like multi-dimensional beings, or
People
maybe
before
even
us,
like
people after us.
Yeah, or maybe even some sort of god that like was assisting the humans in evolution with the monoliths. Like it's just like,
Is Kubrick religious?
I don't think so.
Hey Siri, is Kubrick religious? Oh my god, guys. It's all a mystery.
This series is great.
Siri.
Should I ask Google? Google's better.
Awkward silence must fill
Yes.
with.
Random talking.
Was Stanley Kubrick religious?
He was not a Jew. He just happened to have Jewish parents. So no, not really. Not really.
According to Wikipedia, Kubrick came from a secular family background and was known to have said that he was not really a Jew. He just happened to have two Jewish parents.
Yeah.
Though
That's
his
so
father's legal
exactly
name
what
was
Misha
Jacob,
said.
He went by Jacques or Jack as a move towards American assimilation.
Nice.
Okay. So yeah, it could be a god. It could be anything.
Yeah. But like, I mean, the thing about this movie, like, there's a lot of like conversation it can lead to, like, based on Kubrick's views, it probably wasn't like a sort of god figure, but like, had it come in contact with humans before, and did they interpret it as like God?
Maybe because that's when they were starting to see computers. It could have been like,
Right.
is AI or like
Yeah.
a computer running the whole show behind the scenes.
Yeah, and like, were there more of these monoliths somewhere in time, and where humans were like, oh, it's divine intervention? You know, we just don't know.
Yeah.
It's really open-ended, and I love that about this movie. Like, one of the things I watched an interview with Kubrick, or I don't know if it was like,
He was like, I really
it's just-
enjoyed
or maybe
abusing
the-
my actors.
maybe it was just a quote, but like what he was saying was like, he was like refusing to like explain this movie, and he was like, I just want you to feel something, you know, like this movie just brings like such like strong like emotion and like just thought that you just like you feel something, and like maybe you don't know what it is, and maybe you never will understand it, but like in his mind,
But it's on purpose.
Yeah.
He's trying to do it.
In his mind, that's fine, because like as long as like you like get a reaction, like that's what he's trying to do.
Yeah, so then going off that, it like leads us back to like our regular characters of the film, which were Dave, other guy's name,
Yeah.
I don't remember honestly,
Yeah.
other spaceman, 3 sleeping spacemen, probably a woman in there, and then our favorite, Hal.
How?
Yeah, and Floyd, the
Mayweather.
government guy.
Yeah, Floyd the government guy, who I don't get what his purpose was. Was he running the mission?
Well, no, he was kind of like, he was like the lead guy who
on the
was-
lunar
on the
thing.
moon.
Yeah, and he had that like video briefing them that we saw like after
That's-
Hal got shut down. But yeah, he was like kind of like the cover-up guy who was like, all right, we're just gonna tell everyone it's an epidemic. They didn't find anything, didn't happen.
Yep.
and then Space Baby comes to Earth, and everyone's
Space
like,
Baby.
ooh.
Maybe Kubrick didn't trust the government. Maybe that's where this movie comes from. Could be.
Maybe.
Who
But
knows?
I actually very much did enjoy Dave, even though he was he was like Hal, very monotone. I still felt like it
Right.
did a good job in the sense of, you know, he portrayed how, like, I think in a way, his acting was more through facial expression.
Yeah, I was just
sure.
gonna say that. Like,
Yeah.
especially like when he was shutting down Hal, like you could see he was like really disturbed by like what was going on.
Just
He was,
like anger
He's
in
like,
his eyes.
yeah.
He was like, "What is going on?" And then, especially even in the pod when he's trying to get back in, he's just like, you can see in his eyes, he's like,
he's mad.
he's like, fuck. He's like, oh no.
And like even the actions like he did, like going like the other guy when he like got killed by Hal, like he went to go get him even though he was most likely already dead.
Yeah.
So
that just shows like good
yeah.
like good Samaritan, maybe, I don't know, good
Yeah.
like humankind sort of thing.
Yeah, like he was probably just making sure he could like bring home the body for his family.
But then he
That's
just
the-
throws the body.
Then he
away.
just like
I mean,
drops
at
it.
that point, like
Yeah.
he has nothing. He has no other option. Like,
Yeah,
he's
I
gotta
feel
do
like
that.
obviously he would have taken
Yeah.
it and put it back in.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like it could have been savable.
I mean, at the threat of his own life, are you really gonna go get a body?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if he was alive, he'd probably make more of an effort.
But now this brings up another thing. What happened to Hal? Why did Hal start malfunctioning in the first place?
I don't.
Or did Hal's just needs
Right.
go beyond humankind?
Yeah,
This is
I
something we don't know.
I don't think
Exactly.
anyone really
I-
knows the correct answer to that.
Because I mean, could he
Up
have
to
been
him.
like influenced by the monolith? Who
Because the
knows?
thing is,
Yeah.
the summary I just read, I don't know if it's right or not, is like it's a race between Hal and Dave, but I don't think that's what it is.
Yeah,
I don't think Hal is trying to. I don't think Hal knows that, but we don't know that.
Because I guess Hal was just trying to like push his own agenda. It's like he wanted stuff done his way, and he didn't want
He didn't
the
really
humans
care.
to get in the way of it.
Yeah.
What was Hal trying to do?
he was like, oh, there's human error. You know, I'm perfect. I can't mess up. And
And
this
then-
mission's too like he knew the mission at the beginning. And he's like, oh, the mission is like too important for humans to mess it up. So he tried to kill the humans and do it himself.
Okay, so
Yeah.
then it is a race in a way.
Yeah.
But I don't think Hal is trying to like achieve the next step of evolution. I don't think he knows the whole.
No, he does. He just knows that like there's like he knows like the importance of the monolith because it's a huge scientific discovery. It proves like life other than humans. And I think there's a really interesting parallel between you know whatever entity is like making these monoliths and like evolving humans to like the humans who created Hal
Yeah.
as like a machine to like do things for them, right? Like whatever creature like was sort of making the humans, you know, and then the
Monkey.
humans made something of their own.
Well, the thing is, the probably the creators of the monoliths, like it's obvious that they wanted to guide human evolution, right?
Yeah.
Or the monolith itself.
Right.
It's supposed to guide the human evolution, because then it happens again, and now the humans are like, what? Whoa, what do we have to do now, right? Because
Yeah.
the monkey thought it was probably some sort of like a sign of like something else, and they're like, oh my gosh, what is it we got to do now? Because then the monkeys, after they met the monolith, once it was gone out of that spot, there were bones where it was, and
Well,
then
no, the bones were just. Well, no, the,
Wait.
the monolith didn't leave. It like they just like started picking up the bones and like killing stuff with it.
But then, would they have done that without the monolith? I'm pretty sure no.
The monolith probably influenced them to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we're saying it
And,
like evolves.
that's another interesting question that you're posing. Like, would we have evolved without the monoliths? Like, sure, like in a longer time, but like,
Indifferently.
but would we?
We don't
Would
know.
But how? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to discover it again.
Like,
So we
are humans just fucking stupid?
well, those weren't humans. Those were monkey. Yo, funky monkey Tuesday.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that these like I'm pretty firm that they guided the people or the monkeys, and then the people, and then is the last step space baby, or is there past that? Maybe the monolith creators are the space babies, and they're just elsewhere in the universe or the galaxy.
Right.
Not the
Like,
galaxy, probably.
Yeah,
the
like
universe.
there's this short story by the guy who wrote The Martian, where like basically there's like some sort of like god or creature. It's basically like this movie. Like we don't know exactly what it is, but like where everyone on Earth is just like a different reincarnation of the same person. So like it's like the guy, the Earth person's like final iteration. He's like being accepted to like godhood, and he's like, oh, you're just one of us. We were just basically like training you on the Earth. It was much more eloquent than that. I'm just like kind of paraphrasing. It's called The Egg. It's only like 4 pages. Like you guys could probably all pull it out and read it in 2 minutes right now.
Will we have to find the claim and the subclaims?
No.
Annotate.
No.
Or do we need to include it in our essay?
Yeah. You know, I think I really want to make all of you read Dune.
How long is it?
Very long.
Oh. Why can't we just watch the movie when it comes out?
We can and we will, but I don't know. It'd be fun to all read Dune. Dune's great.
Book club. Midnight movie review book club.
Yeah.
Logic used the egg that we were just talking about as an inspiration for his album. Thanks, Logic.
Love fun pop culture facts.
Oh, and the cool YouTuber dude made a...
Yeah.
So yeah, egg.
Yes, egg.
Monkey. Okay, why don't you move it along?
Yeah, what we're talking about.
Characters.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Wow.
but I still, in general, I think that even though the characters were quite absent, I don't think they're the main focus of the
Right,
story. Obviously,
yeah.
Dave was the main character, I think, for latter two-thirds.
Yeah,
And,
I'd say Dave was the main character of the whole movie.
and then Hal was obviously the villain. But I don't think,
Yeah.
in a way, I don't think Hal's a villain. I think Hal's just confused.
Yeah,
He's
I don't think
yeah.
Hal like knew what he was doing. You know, it's like sort of like prime directive sort of thing, where he's just like,
because, like,
he
at
wants
the
the
e-
mission to just succeed. That's the most important thing.
That's what he was
And-
programmed to do,
yeah,
and
he-
nothing is going to stop him from doing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, right. Like he truly believes like he is perfect, which he is, and then the humans aren't.
So I don't get it. Did he actually have an error, or was the whole point of the error to
No.
expose? I think the whole point was to expose Dave and the other spaceman to lose trust with Hal, so then Hal could fully take over.
His whole plan was to get them to shut off communications, and so like he wanted them to like get the communications to fail, so that like they couldn't contact Earth when he
Mission
was like
control,
killing
yeah.
them. Yeah.
But he ended up doing it like while Dave was gone saving other
Right.
space. What's the guy's name? I can't.
Yeah.
I hate calling him Spaceman.
While you're looking
Spaceman.
that up, I just want to take time to appreciate the killing Hal scene where he's just shutting him off and like how
It was
like-
really good.
like Dave, I am afraid, and Dave's just like,
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of that scene, that is one
Dave,
of like a fundamental ways. Like, there's this YouTube channel me and Adam watch called In Depth Cine,
Oh, yeah.
and that scene is like very popular on that channel in the sense of like how to properly like light and frame a shot.
Yeah.
And that's what Adam was talking. That scene looked very nowadays in how it's
Definitely.
shot, and I agree. I think that that's one of the most visually appealing parts of the movie, except from
Right.
like the whole space thing.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think that whole space thing in this movie, I don't know how they made it. I watched a Corridor Digital video on how they like shot inside and like how they were doing the walking stuff, but I have no idea how they shot the ending space part.
It was
Okay,
I'm gonna-
really
What was-
visually.
What was up with that?
I'm gonna say that
like
like
just like we don't know like when or where he's going, but like he's just being
Yeah.
like he's being like, so like the white room at the end, like that's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
just whatever like entity that's controlling everything, like putting the new like 8th dimensional world or whatever that he's in, he's just putting in like terms he can understand.
yeah, that's what I was thinking, because like the human mind can't
Right.
cannot possibly comprehend what's going on. Going back to that space thing, what I was gonna say, I think visually that whole space sequence, all of it looks better than Interstellar.
Ooh.
I think that looks better than
I mean, Interstellar
that
looks
didn't have that, but because Interstellar looks photorealistic.
right. Yeah,
This
that's-
one wasn't really photorealistic because we don't know what
Especially
was
at
ever
the end.
happening in that
Yeah.
looked like.
Yeah.
And we don't know what going faster. We don't even know if whatever was happening in the last part was going faster than light. We don't know that.
Well, I mean,
I'm assuming it is though.
Interstellar was just like 4th dimensional. This was like
This
something beyond that.
this was
Yeah.
hard to comprehend.
And it was like almost on the same level as
In like the shots where like all of the like the trippy space colors and shit were like reflecting on his helmet, like that was just.
And then
so
he was
beautiful.
and then the thing that that mostly reminds me of like The Shining in that movie was like where he's just like the split of his face,
The flash shots of his
face.
Yeah,
That reminds me of The
Or
Shining.
like, it's interesting because like in The Shining, Kubrick did like the face like tilted down thing to like kind of make Jack look scarier.
Yeah.
Or,
No.
wait, what was his name? I know the actor is Jack Nicholson, but I forget the name of the character. I'm pretty
it's
sure.
Jack.
Yeah, it was also Jack. Yeah, Jack Torrance. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was made to make him look scary, but it was interesting that like Dave also had like the tilt down but eyes still forward kind of thing for a lot of the movie. So it was interesting. It was the movie was kind of framing Dave as the villain.
Because like the whole point is like Dave's trying to stop Hal, which is the whole thing that's
Right.
like trying to run the mission correctly.
Yeah, but like Hal kind of has like this noble purpose of like trying to like carry out the mission perfectly.
because Hal wants because Hal already knows, and Hal wants to make sure that like whatever they're trying to discover is like preserved correctly, most likely.
Yeah.
And Hal just doesn't understand that killing people for the sake of the mission isn't the right thing to do.
yeah, like
because-
it's go on.
Oh yeah, sorry. Because I mean that's just because Hal wasn't programmed to have morals or emotions. Like he's just like we've said.
I mean,
he's-
he was programmed to.
well,
Wait, I don't
mean,
think I don't think he was programmed. Wait, did they program emotions into him?
They
or no?
said they programmed him
It's
to
like
like.
how, it's like
wait,
how
wait,
Google
wait,
it's like
can
how
I- can I
Google
s-
responds. Like if you like ask Google something, it'll respond with somewhat convection of emotion.
That's different though. Google is just a computer. What like I remember it like basically word for word like what the when they were interviewing them, what the guy said was it was made to simulate the human or no it was
Me to mimic.
yeah to mimic the human mind. So like it can like think its own thoughts, like it is alive in
It's like
all
an actual.
manners of
It's
the
like
word.
what we
It's a-
want an
it's a-
AI to
But
be.
what he said after that was they don't know if it has emotions or not because like they created
Yeah.
this thing and they don't even fully understand it yet.
exactly.
So I mean, I think
It
that-
could. It most likely does.
Yeah, and
I feel like
like the scene of like Dave turning Hal off, I think proves it has emotions.
because it was slowly because like he's saying how I'm like losing my mind,
yeah,
or like he said his mind's like going away.
But that's more of like a factual statement.
Yeah, because he's
Yeah,
like
he said,
literally closing. his-
I'm afraid, Dave.
Yeah.
Like,
But maybe
I
that
don't
could
know.
maybe
that's,
that
that's
could.
more of a feeling rather than an emotion, though.
But that isn't.
What's
A,
the
That's
difference?
it's like
There is a
the
but no,
same
but the thing is,
It's
but
not.
well, the thing is for that, I feel like he's like he could just be like saying that just to try to mimic or try to make it so Dave would stop, not because he's actually feeling afraid. Maybe he's just being like, no, like stop. If you do this, you'll turn me off. And then he's just saying I'm afraid to appeal to his humanity or
Yeah,
something.
well, I think again that's open to interpretation.
Exactly.
But that what I said that's what I think.
Oh, Owen Wise and Justin Cohen would hate this movie, boys.
my gosh.
Yeah. Shout out to our previous guests.
Who hate researching about movies.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay, guys. You can just keep watching Avengers
Yeah.
Infinity War 4 times over.
But like going a little bit back to what I was saying earlier, like they do like Hal never says like, "Hey, fuck you, Dave." You know, it's all like just like him like saying facts and like doing what he thinks is right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but like Dave is like in the shots and just like in the dialogue because he kind of like yells at Hal a few times. Like he is framed as the villain, but we as humans like watching this movie, I think basically everyone just assumes that Hal is the villain.
Well,
He's
yeah,
like this
because we have
machine going rogue
Exactly.
because we sympathize.
us
with him.
humans, we would sympathize with the humans,
Yeah.
like you said.
Yeah. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
Did you look up the name of the other guy?
Oh, no, not yet.
I started stalling like 10 minutes ago while you were doing that, and then you never did. And now we just had this whole conversation.
His name was Frank. Frank Pole.
Frank.
And then
Frank Pole.
Uh-oh, guys. Hal's coming.
Hell's coming.
Okay. Thanks for that.
Thanks.
Okay, why don't you move us along?
I think we're gonna be talking about Or we
Yeah.
already talked about dialogue. So
Yeah. Lack thereof.
Well, yeah.
But it's
'Cause
intentional.
because they want it more on like the
This is a more visual movie.
visuals. Yeah.
Yeah,
But now
I mean, each piece of dialogue kind of feels like super impactful because you're like, is he gonna say something? Is he gonna say something? And then he says something.
And then he says, I'm afraid.
and then it's just mind.
I feel like all the dialogue, most I say like 90% of the dialogue holds no emotional value. It's mostly all informative dialogue.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like there's just like so much emotion packed into their faces though.
Yeah, it's a more, obviously we've been saying it's a more visual movie.
Visual story.
Because like when Dave's like saying like
Exactly.
open the pod doors, he's like open the pod doors. It's just like a demand. It's not like Hal, please open the doors, which I
Yeah.
feel like that's how it would have been done if it was shot today.
And I think what was interesting was that like in a lot of movies when they're making like futuristic AIs, they'll make like holograms or like a face on a screen.
Yeah.
But like they just made Hal like a
Just
a
a
light
red
bulb
dot.
basically.
Yeah.
And I think
Exactly.
that was very deliberate since they're making a movie where like all of the emotion is shown through the face. Hal doesn't have a face.
Like what are the robots in the Blade Runner? What are they called?
Replicants.
The replicants. Like those are like people with a face.
Right,
AI,
yeah.
you can't distinguish them. Hal, on the other hand, it's a brick. A brick with a light and his name tag
Yeah.
on top.
Yeah, because in Blade Runner, it's a question of if the replicants are human, but we know Hal's not a human. We just don't know like
If
he
Hal
truly,
can, if he can think like one, and well, obviously they're saying he can obviously think faster because he is a computer.
right.
Like,
Well, yeah.
Yes,
we don't
yes.
know if Hal really feels.
yeah. We
Or
know
whether
he
that
can-
was programmed into.
or
it.
if he learned it himself, which I feel like he, I feel like Hal, at his construction point, he knew, like, what his programmed emotions were, but he didn't, like, fully realize until he started probably communicating.
And then
'Cause
being
what,
like self-aware.
when
of-
did they say he was commissioned? 92?
92.
Or was that just when his factory was made?
It was
I
when
don't
he
know.
was made.
I
It was
hate
when
look-
he was made.
That's
Yeah.
when he was made.
Yeah, so then over that time, I feel like him as a robot, like, because, like, technically robots or AI exponentially increase. Or that's what it'll be like in the future, because
Well, yeah.
computer processing and all that will exponentially go up. So
And
Hal, in that time frame, most likely got very smart from what he was back in 1992 when he was conceptualized.
And that's like the whole like deep learning thing. Like they take in more information and then they can like learn more about stuff and like make conclusions about like who they possibly are. And it's kind of weird to think about. Yeah.
All right.
So next question.
Are you asking it?
Yeah. You're the question
I
guy.
was asking
You're the
if you wanted
question
the
guy.
next question.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So pacing. We already talked about this.
While
but
we were watching it, I
Right.
say this movie was again intentionally
Super
slow
slow.
because I feel like now thinking about it, it's trying to talk about human evolution, how it was very slow, and it's kind of maybe
Just
like a
like the
reflection
movie.
on it's like a
Yeah.
it's like a social or it's like a humanitarian commentary.
Yeah.
Because it's trying to show how with like really literally every time the monolith appeared, the movie sped up. So it's literally trying to say that humanity is slow, the monolith is what speeds it up.
Well, yeah. Because evolution is slow, but then they just like the monoliths just sped it up. Yeah.
Yeah, and there was like also just a lot of like slow like drifting through space shots, and it was like really serene and calm, and I don't know, it was just so peaceful, and like the soundtrack was like really,
Only
like,
two
It
songs.
had like
Yeah,
three
well,
things. That
Okay,
yeah.
okay. There was the Evolution soundtrack that was used whenever the monolith was like going burr, and there was the
Oh yeah, the
Yeah, that.
yeah,
and
there's
then
that.
you have the and you have the waltz, and then you have the main theme.
And like the waltz was used like whenever like they were just like really like peacefully drifting through space, you know, the ships were turning and
Yeah, and this movie
yeah.
I'm reading right now, it's scientifically accurate. So like for what they know, it's space accurate as to how everything works. It very good, like we were saying, like really good special effects. Okay, there's a lot of composers here. Let's see the oh, and there's even an interpretation slide. But yeah, good.
Yeah, next question.
Next question.
So now plot structure. We haven't actually talked about this much at all. So
It's 3-part movie.
yeah.
Monkey,
Space,
space.
More
eighth dim-
space.
and
Well,
Uber
really,
space.
no,
Yes.
really there's 4 parts, like 4 titled parts. There's Monkey, there's Floyd, Moonbase, government cover-up part, and then you go to the Venus,
the Discovery.
What am I saying? The Jupiter mission.
The Discovery,
Yeah.
And then the
it's
super trippy
big part
stuff.
of the
Yeah.
and then the climax. It's weird. Climax was at the end of the movie, not the movie.
Yeah.
Well, no.
Yeah.
Well, isn't climax supposed to be in the middle?
It's supposed to be like middle
it's,
to
it's
end.
weird because like in English they taught us like there were like these parts and climax of the parts was in the middle, but usually like the falling action and the resolution, that's all like very short. Like the
Yeah.
climax usually is like towards the end.
Because like in a movie, nobody
Right.
wants to watch
yeah.
past.
Too
like
long.
you'll get bored.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's just like the falling action and the resolution, that's usually just like a few scenes of characters like saying goodbye to each other, wrapping up. But like it is so fucking badass when like a director just decides to end that shit at the climax, like
Stop.
in here.
Yeah.
Like there's no
Yeah.
scene of Dave like being like space baby, like actually going down to Earth and like talking to humans or anything.
It just ends at his
Yeah,
face.
I
Just
feel like
stops.
that would have ruined the movie because
Yeah.
that would have made up for like 90% of the dialogue if they would have included that. And
Yeah.
that would have just.
It would
felt
also
super
pretty
long.
much just answer the entire movie and completely
Right.
delete the entire part of the movie, which was leave it up to interpretation.
Yeah, that's the point.
I feel like this
That
movie
also-
is built to let you come to your own conclusion.
That also that would kind of destroy the whole atmosphere this movie had. Like it was very kind
Right.
of personal. Like there's basically one person at a time, or maybe a couple in one scene. But if they did send this space baby down to Earth to meet with all these people, it would just feel super like wrong, and it wouldn't fit in with the style of the
Yeah,
movie.
because then it would become like Star Trek like 5
Exactly.
or 6. Whatever was the really weird one with a god in it.
yeah.
The undiscovered country. Something like, or no, that's the final frontier.
Yeah, they probably drew a lot from this movie for that movie.
No, this came after. That was like 1970 or 80.
This was 1960.
No, I'm saying Star Trek was after. Oh, you're saying Star Trek drew from this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry. I thought you were saying it's the other way around.
Yeah, like not like entirely, but like there's like if we went and watched that right now, we'd probably see like a lot of connections.
But I mean, like, it's just like, you know, it's not copying and it's not homage
Right,
either. It's
yeah.
just a progression.
Inspiration.
Yeah,
It's just
right,
progression.
right.
In a way of the monolith progressing. Was there a Hollywood monolith? The world may never know.
Oh,
And that monolith was Christopher Nolan time traveling around.
of course.
Even though he was going backwards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He was planting the monoliths in Kubrick's bedroom,
Exactly.
in David Lynch's dreams.
Oh man.
And then in his future, but to go backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright.
I was gonna say something.
It's okay.
Oh yeah, so like Luke was like talking about how there was like no like Earth scene at the end. Like they never like show like like we see the Earth from space.
Oh, yeah, we
but
never go on
yeah.
Earth ever.
Like we
And then-
have a mission going to Jupiter,
Same with all the
but we
planets.
don't see the beginning,
Exactly.
and we have a guy traveling to a moon
no, we
base,
see them on the moon.
and
They're
we
on
don't.
the-
True for a little
We don't
bit.
see.
Well, no, they were on Earth
Earth.
at the beginning of the movie.
No, they weren't. They were on a space station.
No, they were at the space
Remember
station because
the-
it's
the-
like,
No, the
Interstellar
The
is-
monkeys.
well, yeah, monkeys.
Oh, well, yeah, that's billions of years ago.
So it doesn't
Not
count.
the
Millions.
That
yeah.
doesn't. So that doesn't count. That is Earth, but that doesn't count as our Earth.
Right.
Yes,
Well, I
because
mean-
it was back then.
Yeah, yeah. I was about to say something stupid. Never mind.
Well, we can mute the mic.
Okay.
Bye, audio listeners.
But
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought Adam was gonna say really funny, totally on PC joke.
no, it wasn't funny. It was just a dumb thought about the movie that was wrong.
Hey, but that's
Adam
the
hasn't slept for
interpretation
87
thing.
hours, audio listeners.
More like 70 something, but yeah.
Next question.
Next question.
Sorry, audio listeners.
So now it's cinematography.
Cinnamon.
Okay. I
Who
think
is it? The Oscars that said cinematography.
I don't know.
Someone did.
Okay.
And it was funny.
Me being a cinema nerd, I think visually, this is one of the most stunning films ever produced, ever.
Because it looks good even now.
Yeah, this
when we
movie-
have amazing looking stuff.
And I'm pretty sure obviously, I would say if we were to watch the original movie on its original reels, I don't think it would look, obviously it wouldn't look as good. And I don't think I would give it as much credit. But now since since they obviously kept the original film, they can rescan and recolor grade and make it look much more clear to the audience, so you can see the wonders of the actual physical models that they used. You can see how detailed everything is.
Exactly.
And I just feel like, again, using film makes these colors look so much more beautiful. The way they lit inside the Discovery was beautiful, especially in the Hal, when he was in Hal's like memory core.
And in the hallway.
Yeah, in the hallway, which is Adam's background, which I just realized what she was saying, and now I'm fully realizing it and putting two and two together. But yeah, the way like the camera conveys emotion in the sense of when you're in the hallway, you're really close to the camera when he's trying to unlock the door to get into Hal's memory core. He's really close. It's trying to convey that he's running out of time and that he has to work quick. And scenes inside like the pod bay, it's very wide and open because they have a lot of space because they're leaving into space, and how space is trying to convey that it's wide open. I love that.
And then of course at the end, when he's in like the, wherever it is, but like where he's like seeing the older versions of him. Oh my god, I cannot speak. But where he's like seeing the older versions of himself, then it kind of like cuts to
Space Baby.
Oh yeah, yeah. It just cuts to like the older version, like you get
Space
rid of the like younger version. Like it's hard to explain exactly what's going on, like without actually seeing it. But like
Maybe he evolved.
he did.
Yeah.
But just like the transitions between like the different ages. Yes. He made a transition, guys.
Very nice.
Yeah, just very good, unparalleled cinematography in this movie. Anyone else have anything to add?
It looked cool. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, and at the beginning of the movie, Nick was saying that this looked good for 2001.
Yeah.
And then we broke the news to him that was actually made in 1968.
It's because Misha was joking about that.
Wait,
the whole
Nick, did
time.
you actually think
Yeah.
this came out in
I
2001?
believe you,
You
yeah.
were saying that, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, you said a bunch of other things as well. You were like,
Yeah.
Oh, I kept saying, like, it's crazy how this person also directed.
yeah.
Or I was like, what was it? I said something, like, stupidly funny. I was like,
Yeah.
it's crazy how this person also wrote the script. Like,
Oh wait, no, you're like, it's
Cars.
crazy how the person
Yeah.
that directed or that wrote The Shining directed this movie.
No, I didn't believe that, obviously.
Oh,
'cause
yeah.
That's dumb.
It's yeah.
Yeah.
Love you, Stephen King.
yeah.
But now we're on to symbolism and themes. So
Oh.
I pulled up Spark Notes.
Spark Notes.
So let's see. Fuck Spark Notes. Spark Notes is bad. I hate this. Okay, so what was the symbolism of the glass? That's what I'm gonna look up.
The what?
The glass
Talk for a minute,
breaking.
guys. Just talk to the human.
Think about
Okay.
that.
Wait, what do you mean, the symbolism of the what?
When he
The
knocked his
glass
cup off the
shattering
table.
or whatever.
Right.
Oh, like falling off?
yeah.
I feel like that's when everything, like, in a way, like, physically breaks. And when he breaks from his human form into something completely new, that's, like, the transition from human to,
Space
Space
Baby.
Mega Mind.
Yeah.
Come on, Adam, hurry up.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm on Quora now.
Oh boy.
Like I used to know like all the little details of this movie. Oh yeah, it shows like how fragile man is and how like he can just like shatter.
He
in pieces.
literally broke his mind.
Yeah.
In a way, Hal conveyed that too. Except physically, he was removing his mind.
Exactly.
In a way that could be seen as like Hal's mind is now coming into Dave's in a way. Like, I don't know, like figuratively, obviously not physically, but like Dave is now above Hal.
Yeah.
Even though Hal's technically better,
He's
Dave
showing-
is risen above it.
And the wine goblet's broken, but the wine still exists, so it's symbolic of the soul existing outside a broken corporeal
baby.
body. I
It
cannot
explains
speak.
the space baby.
Jesus.
Yeah. Space baby.
Yeah. And then also there was the like him like reaching out towards the monolith and kind of pointing to it. That's like supposed to be like reminiscent of a painting where like Adam is reaching out to God. I don't remember the name of the painting.
It's this one where he's like,
Yeah, right. And you can see his fat cock. It's a nice painting, guys.
do you think people back in the day, you know,
Who knows? The creation of Adam is what it's called. That's what it looks like.
Nice.
Oh yes.
So, yeah, so that like shot was supposed to be reminiscent of that.
what other symbolism? I feel like Hal could be a symbol for like maybe like the want for perfection in humanity,
Yeah, for sure.
and how it blinds people to like that humanity can't be perfect and that mistakes do happen in a way. Additionally, I'm using that word, and I feel like space in itself is a symbol because it's so vast and we just literally cannot comprehend like the vastness of the universe.
Moreover,
More.
yeah, I actually don't have anything to say. I just wanted to say that.
But yeah, do we have any other symbols anyone else can remember or think of? Maybe colors. I feel like
the
the
spacesuits.
monoliths.
Yeah, like why were the monoliths the way that they were?
I feel like because they're a perfect shape, like rectangular. Sorry.
Rectangular prism.
Yep, they were a perfect rectangular prism, and that they completely contrasted with being on Earth, which was no like real, accurate, natural shape. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because
Right.
the monolith's like a unorganic shape, and I mean like Earth, it has like a lot of like crazy randomness, and it's like then you've got this like pretty much perfect thing, like you guys saying, it's just like there, so you know it's like not from there.
And then when you go to the moon later, in probably like what 2000 by that point,
Yeah.
and then you know it's not much of a surprise in the sense of, oh my god, this is something that's unorganic. Even though it is, because like, oh, it's not from Earth, we know that. But now it's in the sense of, oh my gosh, there's someone who can do this, or who can make this. Where is it from? And then by the end of the movie, it's, I know where it's from, and now I'm going to become a part of it.
Right.
The progression of the monolith. Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah. So that all we have to say for that question?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
This is a really depressing way you're putting things out of here, Adam. Are you okay?
What?
Are you okay, Adam? Do you need to talk?
Yes.
Okay. Guys, and I quote, I have control of your cocks.
They're not gonna understand the joke.
Open the cock locks out. I'm sorry, Dave, but I'm afraid I can't do that.
Yeah, that has to do with a very unrelated conversation we were having during the movie.
Like middle of the movie, Adam just decides to bring this.
A fun story into the.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But Yes, so I completely forgot what we were talking about.
And that just shows how this movie makes you question and think
About your cock.
Question your reality. So like now let's just like talk about Stanley Kubrick a bit. Like, what are your opinions of him?
He's pretty cool.
Yeah. But what movies of his have we all seen?
Paths of Glory. I should probably look up a
Yeah,
list
let's
because
see.
I might like seen a movie and not
Maybe,
realize
right,
it's directly.
yeah.
I think I've seen like a good portion of his stuff. I haven't seen like a lot of his earlier stuff because, as I mentioned a bit earlier, he started with a lot of like short films they're kind of hard to find unless you buy them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I've actually not seen that much. I've only seen Full Metal Jacket, Clockwork Orange. I know I've read a Clockwork Orange. I haven't watched it. No, I haven't even read it. What am I thinking? I'm crazy. Someone else read it. I was thinking. I've only watched Full Metal Jacket 2001 and The Shining. Adam, you've probably watched a bit more.
Yeah, quite a bit more. So I've seen this. I've seen The Shining. I'm actually waiting on watching A Clockwork Orange until I can read the book.
Yeah.
So I gotta get around to that. I've seen Eyes Wide Shut, Full Metal Jacket, Doctor Strangelove, whatever the hell the title of that movie is. It's really long. Barry Lyndon, Paths of Glory, obviously, and then Lolita, which is just a weird movie. But I really want to see Spartacus, and because that's an interesting movie for him to take on. It's like a historical epic sort of thing. Yeah, and then there's like his lesser known older films. But yeah, what about Luke and Nick?
For me, yes, it's only been Paths of Glory and then this. So, I guess I haven't quite, like, experienced his whole, directing, I guess,
Yeah, me neither.
variety of, movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
And
the
this,
same as Luke.
this and Paths of Glory were two very different movies. They felt
For sure.
Paths of Glory was a completely was that a creative choice to use non-color film? We used black and white, or was that because there was only
That was a
color?
creative choice.
I think it was more popular at the time.
Well,
Huh.
Maybe
I
color
mean,
was too expensive by then.
Something like
yeah,
that.
color was expensive. For
And
sure.
it looked nice. Black and white movies look good.
For sure.
Especially
yeah.
Well, also
that
that's a
style
period
of
film, so it
movie.
kind of has to be black and white.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But yeah, like with like Quentin Tarantino, for example, like part of his style is the subject matter he's covering. Like he does like crime westerns, that sort of thing. And that's not like the entirety of it, but like that's like, that's what he's famous for. Well, Kubrick basically does everything as far as subject matter goes. And he still has a style.
What would you describe his style to be? Like,
It's psychedelic realism.
Wait, okay. If any of you heard that weird sound, I'm sorry. Misha was like scratching me with the back scratcher. I just want to put that out there.
Okay, yeah, so Stanley Kubrick's style is like realism with crazy psychedelicness.
Well, I mean, not necessarily always. Like, I feel like that's specific to this movie. Stop, please. I'm trying to speak. But he has like a lot of like wide rolling and moving shots. Like in Paths of Glory, we saw him like going through the trenches.
Yeah,
Here
it was like a
he's-
big part. It was probably
Yeah.
like 10 minutes of
It was
here
cool, yeah.
he's like going
Yeah, that
through
was cool.
hallways. Okay, we're putting the back scratcher away.
No.
But yeah, he's in. There's like in The Shining and in like when they're like arriving at the hotel and in space here, there's like huge like pulled back like big like canvas shots of just like the landscape. Dude, why did you give him the back scratcher?
I'm gonna keep it to myself, I promise.
Okay.
I promise.
Yeah. So do we want to move on to our final ratings, guys?
Yes, sir.
Sure.
Why don't we just go in the Half Moon order, but in reverse?
Ooh.
That means you go first.
Okay. I thought this was pretty cool movie.
Pretty cool.
I like Monkey. and Space Baby and Hal, and just like the overall plot of this movie is pretty unique.
Yeah.
So 8.5.
Very nice.
It's Hal.
Hal's in the dome.
Red dot Mike.
Yeah, this movie is really unique, as we've all said. Great visuals. It really makes you, really inspires and sparks discussion. Very thought-provoking. And,
Semantic circle. Semantic circle.
Semantic or Socratic.
Socratic seminar.
that's what
Yeah,
it is.
Socratic
Yes.
circle.
But anyways, yeah, just very, very good for discussion. I'm definitely gonna be doing some, like, research on this, because this
Yeah.
movie made me...
Think.
It made me think.
It made you pull something that our previous guests couldn't bear to do.
Not quite in the way, like, with other movies like Inception, that you're thinking to try to, like, understand what's going on, but it's more like thinking about
Like
just
the greater
existence,
parts of-
existence in
Yes.
general.
Right,
So
yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. So I'm gonna give this movie a 7.5 out of 10.
Very nice, very nice. All right. I thought this was one of the most visually appealing movies I have ever seen in my life. I think, honestly, objectively, I think, no, not objectively, subjectively to me, this is better than Inception. Or not Inception, sorry, Interstellar. Because in a way, this appeals to, like, the fact that we don't know really what's out there in a sense of what our eyes can truly see, because we know what infrared and all these, like, magnetic things can be translated into what we can see, but we don't know what it actually looks like based on our true eyes. So, for this movie's creativity, for its innovation, I'm gonna give this movie a 10. I think this is one of the best movies ever made. I don't really care that it has not a lot of dialogue, because we've said all its dialogue is
Doesn't need
shared
to. Yeah.
through emotion that a human can read based off their face.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm also gonna give this one a 10. It's one of my favorite movies. I know I give 10s a lot. That's just because we're
half the
pretty
movies
much
on this channel.
we're pretty much watching all my favorite movies. Like that's just it. Like we just are. Like
Yeah.
but
Wait, who chose to? Was that? I chose to watch this one, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
But I actually have like a top 50 like ranked list of my favorite movies.
What is number one?
Blade Runner. Like I put both of them together for like any series. They count as one slot on the list. But for a while until I watched Mulholland Drive and what's the other one? No Country for Old Men. This was like ranked like second or third on my list, I think. But now it's down to like 4 or 5. But you know,
But still,
it's
yeah.
still just one of the greatest of all time. Truly legendary. Like nothing has been done like this ever before, or at least not as well, or like since then either.
I don't think the new Space Odyssey movies were like, they're obviously not as good as this one. I still feel like they'd be good.
There's only just
Wait, is there one?
It's
Oh wait, no, I was
It's
looking at
2001, yeah.
3001, which is a book. 3001 Space Odyssey is a book.
Was that written by?
Yeah, Clark. Yeah.
Oh. Huh. Oh yeah, I think I heard about that. They were planning to make that, and then something happened.
Probably Kubrick. No, that
No,
was that
Kubrick
book.
didn't direct the second.
No,
one.
that book was even written before I think Kubrick died.
Yeah. Kubrick didn't direct the second one. I think they were just planning to make it. So like there's I guess a real chance that we might see a third movie still.
But I wouldn't like it because it'd be made to appeal to a 2030 or 2040 audience. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean I don't know. I think it'd be interesting because like I don't know that's another conversation that we could have, I guess. But well, there's all like it's just a really iconic soundtrack. Like I know we've like poked fun at the fact that there's only like 2 songs used in the
But they're
soundtrack.
like the classics.
Yeah, but both of those are like
Been
really
over-
iconic.
Because
like,
this is probably the first or maybe the one original use of, well, obviously the dun, 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 that came from this movie.
yeah.
And then the waltz obviously came from like the 1700s, but I feel like this is where it became popularized.
right. Yeah, like both of those.
No, that's where they became
They
popularized in this
stick
movie.
yeah,
in your
I know-
head
I know.
too, and then now you
But-
associate it.
Like those 2 songs have like been ingrained in pop culture since then. Like even when I was like 6, like I knew like the main like theme of this movie, and I had no idea this movie even existed. Like in WALL-E, like they play the main theme of this in WALL-E. Like it's just because they have like a red dot, like Hal sort of.
Oh, I forget that is that yeah, that's what
and
it is.
It's like WALL-E's just like a great movie. Like we need to review that.
I haven't seen that in a while.
They
though.
really pay homage to this movie and that movie.
But yeah, I feel like that movie is just this movie,
Like a
just
kid's
in a
version.
kid's.
A little bit.
Oh, not at all.
A little bit.
It's an homage to that movie.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
There's like certain like scenes, like they draw from it a bit, but like the main ideas of this movie are
Yeah, totally.
nowhere to be
Because that
seen.
one's about
Yeah.
like humans fucking Earth over.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about like pollution and all that.
Disney secretly liberal, yes. Disney actually like Jews, maybe.
We'll never know.
All right. So, guys, if you didn't catch it, audio listeners, we observed and watched and were guided through this movie by this weird monolith-shaped thing. And this was directed by Stanley Kubrick. Starred some actors who probably haven't acted in anything else, but they did a great job. And yeah, have
really
fun
cool
traveling
movie.
through space with us. We're all gonna say goodnight, and we're gonna leave you to hopefully a hot wings episode for some reason.
Oh boy.
Well,
All right.
what are we gonna watch for that?
Something funny. Cats. All right. All right. Nick, we're going to say goodnight.
No.
Luke, we're going to say goodnight. Misha, which is me, we're going to say goodnight. Adam, in that order. Take it
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night.
I've disobeyed the order. Good night.
Bye-bye, guys.